Bad data, broken decisions. Why leaders keep trusting the wrong numbers. You know, there's this thing I see happen in nearly every company that calls itself data-driven. Executives walk into meetings, someone throws a dashboard up on the big screen, and right there, glowing in blue and green, are the numbers that supposedly tell the truth about the business. People nod, they start talking strategy, they make calls worth millions of dollars, all assuming those numbers are right. But here's the uncomfortable part. For more than half of those companies, the data behind those decisions is wrong, and not just a little wrong. A recent global study from SoftServe found that 58% of business leaders say their companies make key decisions using inaccurate or inconsistent data, most of the time, if not always. That means more than 1 out of every 2 big decisions across global organizations are being made with bad information. And it's not like people don't care about accuracy. It's that they think the data is accurate when it's not. The systems look clean, the dashboards load quickly, and no one wants to be the person in the meeting who questions the numbers everyone else seems confident about. Now, I've been in those rooms. I've seen how fast the conversation moves from what's the metric to what's the action. The problem is when the metric is built on weak foundations, different systems, missing definitions, half-documented pipelines, your entire strategy starts to drift. You end up steering the ship by looking at a compass that's a few degrees off. And the farther you go, the more lost you become. SoftServe and Wakefield Research surveyed 750 business leaders for this study, and what they found was pretty telling. 65%, almost 2 out of 3, said no one in their organization fully understands all the data that's being collected or how to access it. Think about that. The majority of companies don't even know what data they have, let alone how to maximize its potential. It gets worse when you look at how divided leadership teams are on this. There's a clear gap between executives, vice presidents, and directors. 78% of vice presidents and 61% of directors say poor understanding of data among senior leaders is hurting investment priorities. But when you ask the C-suite, only 44% agree. That's a pretty big disconnect between the people doing the analysis and the people signing the checks. That divide creates real friction. Data teams are often told to deliver insights faster, cleaner, and with more precision, but they're working with pipelines that are messy, inconsistent, and incomplete. They're expected to make it work, even when everyone knows the inputs are shaky. Meanwhile, leadership is frustrated because they keep hearing that data isn't ready, or that it needs cleaning, or that definitions have changed again. It's a cycle of frustration. The analysts are overworked and undertrusted. The leaders are underinformed but overconfident. And in the middle, bad data keeps sneaking into dashboards, reports, and forecasts that drive real-world decisions. Let me give you an example of what that looks like. Let's say your finance team is trying to forecast revenue for next quarter. They're pulling from multiple systems, CRM data, ERP data, maybe a few manual spreadsheets still floating around. Each of those systems defines a sale or a booking slightly differently. The team knows this, but the differences are small enough that they don't seem worth fixing, so they move forward. Then, operations builds a production plan based on that forecast. Procurement follows with inventory orders. Marketing adjusts campaign budgets to match. A few weeks later, someone realizes the original sales data double-counted renewals in one region and missed cancellations in another. Now your plan is off, your inventory's wrong, and your marketing spend doesn't align with demand. That's what bad data does. It compounds quietly until it becomes a strategic problem. And according to that same study, the majority of leaders already know their data strategies are outdated. 73% said their data strategy needs major updates, or even a full overhaul. 98%, basically everyone, believes an updated data strategy is required for major initiatives like generative AI. Yet most of those updates aren't happening fast enough because everyone's chasing shiny new tools instead. The study found that nearly 3 out of 4 organizations admit they've misallocated funds, pulling resources away from essential data projects and pouring them into broad AI initiatives with weaker returns. 73% to be exact. It's like building a glass tower on top of a cracked foundation, hoping the view distracts from the structure underneath. And you can feel that tension inside companies right now. Everyone wants to be part of the AI movement, but few want to do the hard work of cleaning, structuring, and governing the data that actually makes AI useful. The result? A lot of AI-powered projects that don't really work. SoftServe's survey made that painfully clear. 60% of decision-makers said just getting access to the data they need when they need it is still a challenge. Half of the respondents whose organizations rely on inaccurate data now believe they need a significant increase in data management investment to hit their goals. The awareness is there, but the investment isn't keeping up. Inside these organizations, there's another group that rarely gets credit: the data wranglers. The engineers, analysts, and scientists who spend their days merging sources, cleaning inputs, fixing definitions, and tracking lineage through systems that were never built to connect. These people are trying to bring order to chaos. They're the ones who know which systems still use legacy formats, which tables don't update properly, and which API connections break every few weeks. But they also know something leadership often doesn't: that the data flowing into reports isn't unified, isn't real-time, and often isn't even current. For them, it's exhausting. They get pressure from leadership to deliver insights by Friday, even when the underlying issues have been years in the making. They see the gap between what's being promised to executives and what the infrastructure can actually support. And they're the ones who feel the frustration when the next big AI project fails, because the inputs were never trustworthy to begin with. So where does this leave us? The SoftServe study shows that 58% of leaders know their companies are using inaccurate data. 65% admit no one really understands the data landscape. 73% want to refresh their strategy, but only a small fraction are actually taking the steps to fix the core issues. The good news, and there is good news, is that companies that have invested in their data foundations are seeing real payoffs. 44% of those organizations have already unlocked new revenue streams by using their data better. 38% are directly monetizing their data, turning it into an asset, not just a cost center. 54% say their productivity and efficiency have gone up, and nearly half report better forecasting and decision-making. That's the silver lining here. Data done right pays for itself many times over, but it only happens when leaders stop assuming the data is fine and start asking hard questions. Questions like, who actually owns our data? Where does it live? How does it move? And if someone traced one of our key metrics, say customer churn, back to the source system, would they get a clean answer? If the answer is no, or even, I'm not sure, then that's where the work needs to start. Because this isn't just about technology, it's about clarity. It's about knowing what you can trust and admitting what you can't. One of the most striking things about that SoftServe study was the level of awareness. These leaders know the problems exist. They see the gaps between departments. They know the pressure to move fast has created blind spots. What they don't have is a clear roadmap for fixing it. And that's where a lot of companies stall out. They know they need cleaner data, but they don't want to slow down. They want the benefits of advanced analytics and AI without doing the groundwork that makes those things reliable. But AI doesn't magically fix messy data, it amplifies it. That's why you'll see machine learning models trained on outdated or misaligned data making confident but wrong predictions, or dashboards powered by data warehouses that haven't been reconciled in months, or executive reports where a single metric, something as simple as active customers, is defined 3 different ways across departments. When those issues go unchecked, even the most advanced analytic setups turn into a house of mirrors. Every reflection looks accurate until you realize the angles are off. So the takeaway isn't just that bad data exists, it's that it's everywhere, and it's influencing more decisions than anyone wants to admit. But the real opportunity is this: if you can fix it, if you can get your data unified, understood, and accessible, you can move faster and with more confidence than most of your competitors. The same study showed that companies with strong data management foundations aren't just making better decisions. They're creating new revenue streams and scaling faster. They're the ones that see data as an asset, not an afterthought. So here's the question worth asking right now. If almost 2 out of 3 leaders say no one in their organization truly understands their data, what makes you confident that yours is any different? That's not a challenge. It's an invitation. Because once you start asking those questions, you start seeing where the real opportunities lie. In the next video, we're going to dig deeper into what life actually looks like for the data wranglers inside these organizations. The ones caught between impossible deadlines and leadership expectations. You'll see the real tension between what leaders want and what the data can actually support, and why bridging that gap is the only way forward for anyone serious about using AI responsibly and effectively. For now, that's it from me. This is Michael, helping you see past the dashboards and back into the foundations that make real AI success possible.